Just to ask the Minister, in relation to a school in Milltown National School, Belturbet, County Cavan, who expressed an interest in having an ASD unit in the school and had not received any reply to that, just what status it is at this moment. Thank you.
Corla, just to reassure the Deputy, first of all, my understanding is that the NCSE has been in communication with the school in relation to the request for a special class, and it's a matter that I take very seriously as Minister for Special Education. I think it's important to look at the growth in special classes. If we think about the fact that in 2011 we had 508 special classes, we now have 2,118. That's an increase of 386%. This year alone, we opened 269 special classes. We'll be opening 287 next year, which is a total of 1,700 special class places. So that's just to put in context the rapid growth to a certain extent that we've made in relation to special classes. But that's not to say that we don't need to increase them. And what the NCSE does is it looks at the current demand and the projected demand, and it also looks at current accommodation and projected accommodation when it's considering whether or not to open a special class. I do understand that the school hasn't yet made an application to the department for special class accommodation, but they have made a request for a special class. And my understanding from my discussions with the department in relation to that particular school planning area is that there are already sufficient special classes. There are in fact apparently 3 special classes in the Belturbet special planning area. But that could change, just to say that to you, that if there's a review and there's additionality required, if there's new information that is forthcoming that the NCSE is aware of, they will of course consider that seriously. And I want to commend Milltown as well for voluntarily looking into the fact that they want to open a special class. Not every school is as forthcoming, so I do appreciate that, and it's something that we're going to consider. Thank you.
Deputy Tully.
You know, it was a parent who had contacted me initially about this because she would be anxious that all her children attend the same school, and she has one child who's on the spectrum, and she knew from her conversations with the principal in Milltown that they were interested and had made an expression of interest in having an ASD unit, but hadn't had any contact back. And I know on foot of her query with me, I had submitted PQ on it, and I was told that there was no application. So that's why the principal was kind of taken aback, because he thought, well, there was no interaction whatsoever after he had expressed an interest in this. And it's just, I know actually this week then, the senior has been in contact to say that they will look at taking it further, because I think there may actually be need for more places in that actual area, and so they are looking at it, and they are delighted to hear that. I suppose what his concern is, because the school has been sanctioned for additional classrooms, because it's actually a growing school and they've got additional teachers.
Thank you. You'll get a chance to come back.
Okay.
Minister.
Thank you, Deputy. I do understand that it has been recently approved for additional mainstream accommodation, and also in terms of resource teaching. And it's important to say as well that the NCSE is engaging, as you said, with the school. We are putting additional special education teachers. It's about 620 just going towards special classes, and about 360 special education teachers and 620 SNAs in total going to all the special classes. But what the NCSE are saying, are confirming to us at present anyway, is that there are sufficient places within existing special classes at present, but that is subject to change. As you've acknowledged yourself, it should have come to light that it is actually required, and this ongoing engagement between the NCSE, which is really through their CNOs with the relevant school, is going to be the pertinent point.
Yeah. Thank you, Minister. Yeah, I suppose, as you say yourself, not all schools are volunteering to have an ASD unit attached to the school. And I suppose we know that the numbers of people being assessed with autism are increasing. Not all of them will need to be in an ASD unit or a special class. Many of them are in mainstream schools and are thriving there. But I suppose maybe schools just need a bit more information, because even the principal was saying, like, are there additional finances provided for the ASD unit? If it was to be sanctioned and come on stream, would temporary accommodation be provided, say if it was to come on stream for next year, if there was a demand in the area? Because he just said at the moment they're using the school hall as a classroom. They had hoped that they'd use that as the unit, but now they actually need a lot more space, so their numbers have increased. So just a couple of questions there that need clarity. And as I said, it is good to see some schools volunteering. There are many schools that we know in areas that don't want to have a unit, and it ends up the students having to be bussed out of their areas.
Minister, to conclude.
Commend Milltown for taking the initiative to contact the NCSE in the first instance, and if the NCSE does in the future agree to open a special class if there is demand, they do give funding, and the department gives funding in terms of either reconfiguring accommodation or providing new accommodation. And also it's important to stress that when a school is opening a special class, there are additional grants. There's a startup grant, it's about 6,500. There's an ICT grant, which is about, I think, 6,700. And there are a number of other grants as well. So we're always encouraging schools to open special classes, and all new schools now from this year will automatically provide SEN facilities, so that we won't be having a conversation like this in years to come. It'll be automatically worked out. There is a better forecasting model that is now in place, so that we can see where the future demographic growth will be and where that demand will arise in the future.